Welcome to today's safety training session on Permit to Work PTW and Lockout, Tagout Loto procedures, prepared by Ahmad Jafar. These two systems are critical pillars of workplace safety, designed to prevent accidents, protect lives, and ensure compliance with international standards. The PTW system provides a structured approach to managing high-risk tasks by ensuring proper authorization, hazard identification, and control measures before work begins. Similarly, Loto procedures safeguard employees from unexpected energy releases during maintenance or servicing activities, eliminating one of the most common causes of serious injuries. By the end of this session, you will understand the importance of these procedures, how to apply them correctly, and your role in maintaining a safe work environment. Remember, safety is not optional, it's our responsibility. Welcome to today's safety training session on Permit to Work PTW and Lockout, Tagout Loto procedures, prepared by Ahmad Jafar. These two systems are critical pillars of workplace safety, designed to prevent accidents, protect lives, and ensure compliance with international standards. The PTW system provides a structured approach to managing high-risk tasks by ensuring proper authorization, hazard identification, and control measures before work begins. Similarly, Loto procedures safeguard employees from unexpected energy releases during maintenance or servicing activities, eliminating one of the most common causes of serious injuries. By the end of this session, you will understand the importance of these procedures, how to apply them correctly, and your role in maintaining a safe work environment. Remember, safety is not optional, it's our responsibility.
Part 1. Lockout-Tagout procedure. Why Loto?
What is Loto? Definition: a safety procedure used to ensure that machines and equipment are properly shut off and not able to be started up again prior to the completion of maintenance or servicing. Types of hazardous energy: electrical, mechanical, hydraulic, pneumatic, chemical, thermal, potential. Electrical: energy from live wires, circuits, or equipment that can cause shock, burns, or electrocution. Example: energized control panels, transformers, motors, or exposed wiring. Example, stored energy in capacitors or batteries. Mechanical, energy from moving parts or stored mechanical tension. Example, rotating shafts, gears, belts, or chains. Example, spring-loaded components or tension cables. Hydraulic, energy stored or transmitted through pressurized liquids. Example, hydraulic presses, lifts, or braking systems. Example, leaking hydraulic lines under pressure. Pneumatic, energy stored or transmitted through compressed air or gas. Example, air compressors, pneumatic tools. Example, pressurized tanks or hoses that may burst or whip. Chemical, energy released through chemical reactions or exposure to hazardous substances. Example, corrosive or flammable chemicals in tanks or pipelines. Example, stored gases like chlorine, ammonia, or acetylene. Thermal, energy from heat sources that can cause burns or fires. Example, boilers, furnaces, or heated surfaces. Example, steam lines or hot liquids. Potential, energy from elevated objects that may fall or shift. Example, suspended loads, overhead cranes, or hoisted equipment. Example, raised platforms or vehicle ramps. Isolation equipment locks and tags are essential safety devices used to prevent accidental energization of machinery during maintenance or servicing. Locks are sturdy, color-coded padlocks applied to isolation points such as switches, valves, or breakers, ensuring that energy sources remain securely locked in the off position. Tags accompany these locks and provide critical information, including the name of the person who applied the lock, the date, and the reason for isolation. Together, locks and tags create a visible and physical barrier that protects workers from hazardous energy, reinforcing accountability and compliance with lockout/tagout procedures. Isolation cabinets, secure cabinets located in operational control rooms, for example fuel yard, ash yard, SMC, used to store isolation locks. These cabinets are managed by operational and maintenance supervisors and are part of the controlled access system for energy isolation. Group lock box. Lockable boxes distributed across various site areas, for example site buildings, NMIP, housing, workshop, used to store isolation keys or mechanical keys, refer to the procedure during maintenance activities. All personnel involved in the task apply their personal locks to these boxes to ensure safe work conditions. Loto procedure in fuel yard, ash yard, and SMC's area. Step 1. Preparation. Step 2. Shutdown. Step 3. Isolation and verification. Step 4. Energy isolation. Energy isolation handover. Step 1. Preparation. The operational supervisor identifies all energy sources using the isolation list. All required isolation points are documented on the Permit to Work (PTW) form. Affected employees are notified of the shutdown. Step 2. Shutdown. The control room operator, field operator, shuts down the equipment using standard procedures and ensures all moving parts have stopped. Step 3. Isolation and verification. The isolation technician isolates electrical energy sources per the PTW and applies isolation locks and tags. The control room operator, field operator, isolates all other energy sources and applies the appropriate locks and tags. Tags must include name of the person applying the lock, date and time. Reason for Loto. The control room operator, field operator, performs a tryout to verify isolation, then returns controls to the off position. He is also responsible for releasing residual energy, for example, bleeding pressure, discharging capacitors, blocking mechanical parts. All isolation keys are secured in the isolation cabinet. Then, the operations supervisor should lock the cabinet and take the operational key. The maintenance supervisor should lock the cabinet and take the maintenance key. The maintenance supervisor places the maintenance key in the group lock box and applies their personal lock and tag. All personnel involved in the task, technicians, inspectors, etc., must apply their personal locks to the group lock box and retain their keys. The PTW officer verifies that the Loto process is complete and safe for work. Step 4. Energy isolation. The maintenance supervisor ensures all personnel have cleared the area before re-energizing. All personal locks must be removed by their respective owners. The maintenance supervisor inspects the area to confirm it is clear of tools and personnel. Both the maintenance and operational supervisors open the isolation cabinet and hand the isolation key to the authorized isolation technician. The isolation technician removes the isolation from the equipment. The operational supervisor confirms proper removal and notifies affected employees that the equipment is back in service.
Energy isolation handover. Personal locks removed by owners. The operational and maintenance keys handed over to the next shift supervisors. Next shift applies personal locks and performs tryout. Same steps as the isolation and verifications. PTW officer verifies safety. Loto procedure and MIP. Housing, lab, explosive store. Step 1. Preparation. Step 2. Shutdown. Step 3. Isolation and verification. Step 4. Energy isolation handover. Step 1. Preparation. Coordination must be established between the area supervisor and the facility maintenance supervisor regarding the isolation process. The facility maintenance supervisor identifies all energy sources using the isolation list. All required isolation points are documented on the PTW form by the facility maintenance supervisor. Affected employees are notified of the shutdown. Step 2. Shutdown. The area supervisor shuts down the equipment using standard procedures and ensures all moving parts have stopped. Step 3. Isolation and verification. The isolation technician isolates all energy sources as per the PTW and releases any residual energy. Appropriate isolation devices must be used. Tags must include name of the person applying the lock, date and time, reason for Loto. Isolation keys are placed inside the group lockbox. All personnel involved in the task, area supervisor, technicians, inspectors, etc., must apply their personal locks to the group lockbox and retain their keys. Step 4. Energy isolation. The facility maintenance supervisor ensures all personnel have evacuated the area. All personal locks must be removed by their respective owners. The area is inspected to confirm it is clear of tools and personnel. The isolation technician removes the isolation from the equipment. The area supervisor verifies proper removal and notifies affected employees that the equipment is back in service. Energy isolation handover. All personal locks must be removed by their owners. The area supervisor hands over the group lockbox to the next shift supervisor. The next shift supervisor applies their personal lock to the group lockbox. All personnel involved in the task must apply their personal locks. The next shift supervisor performs a tryout to verify isolation and returns controls to the off position. Loto procedure and workshop. Step 1. Preparation. Step 2. Shutdown. Step 3. Isolation and verification. Step 4. Energy isolation handover. Step 1. Preparation. Coordination must be established between the workshop supervisor and the responsible supervisor for the work. The electrical supervisor identifies all energy sources using the isolation list. All required isolation points are documented on the PTW form by the electrical supervisor. The workshop supervisor notifies affected employees of the shutdown. Step 2. Shutdown. The workshop supervisor shuts down the equipment using standard procedures and ensures all moving parts have stopped. Step 3. Isolation and verification. The isolation technician isolates electrical energy sources as per the PTW. The workshop supervisor isolates all other energy sources. Appropriate isolation devices must be used. Tags must include name of the person applying the lock, date and time, reason for Loto. Isolation keys placed inside the group lockbox. All personnel involved in the task, workshop supervisor, technicians, inspectors, etc., must apply their personal locks to the group lockbox and retain their keys. Step 4. Energy isolation. The workshop supervisor ensures all personnel have evacuated the area. All personal locks must be removed by their respective owners. The area is inspected to confirm it is clear of tools and personnel. The isolation technician removes the isolation from the equipment. The workshop supervisor verifies proper removal and notifies affected employees that the equipment is back in service. Energy isolation handover. All personal locks must be removed by their owners. The workshop supervisor hands over the group lockbox to the next shift supervisor. The next shift supervisor applies their personal lock to the group lockbox. All personnel involved in the task must apply their personal locks. The next shift supervisor performs a tryout to verify isolation and returns controls to the off position. Key responsibilities. Each worker must maintain their personal lock in good and safe condition. Personal locks must be applied before starting work and removed after leaving the area. If a personal lock is lost, the worker will be charged for its replacement. Disciplinary action will be taken as per company bylaw. If a personal lock key is lost or the worker leaves without removing the lock, a committee, maintenance supervisor, operational supervisor, PTW officer, will be formed to break the lock. The responsible worker will face disciplinary action as per company bylaw. If operational or maintenance keys are lost or not removed, a committee, HSE representative, operational supervisor, maintenance supervisor, isolation technician, will be formed to break the isolation cabinet. The responsible supervisor will face disciplinary action as per company bylaw. Cord and plug connected equipment. If servicing or maintenance is performed on cord and plug connected equipment, the following procedure shall be performed to protect employees. Unplug equipment from its electrical socket, place a lockable cover over the plug, and a lock on the plug cover during machine, equipment servicing or maintenance. Compliance is non-negotiable. Part 2. Permit to work procedure. What is PTW? A formal written authorization outlines the scope of work, associated hazards, required safety precautions, and approvals. It ensures that work involving energy isolation is planned, communicated, and executed safely. Roles and responsibilities. Authorized person, permit issuer, a designated individual responsible for reviewing, approving, and issuing permit to work documents. This person ensures that all safety requirements, isolations, and documentation are in place before work begins. Ensure that each PTW is accurately and filled out in accordance with the established procedure. Review and approve PTW extension or renewal requests after verifying that all isolations and safety precautions remain in place. Sign the PTW form to confirm readiness and compliance with safety requirements before work begins. Maintain and update the PTW log register. Ref. No. MIMSQHSESWP032F02 at the time of permit issuance and closure. Verify that all required energy isolations are identified and properly cross-referenced in the PTW documentation. Ensure that all relevant checklists and supporting documents are attached to the PTW prior to issuance. Receive and retain the reference copy of the PTW for documentation and audit purposes. Stop work if unsafe conditions arise or permit terms are violated. Competent person, applicant, a qualified and trained individual assigned to carry out specific tasks under the PTW. The competent person is responsible for executing the work safely, verifying isolations, and ensuring compliance with permit conditions. Ensure maintenance personnel are trained and competent. Verify that tools and equipment meet safety standards. Review the assigned work order and understand the scope, location, and safety requirements of the task. Participate in the PTW creation process by providing accurate input regarding the nature of the work and required safety measures. Sign the PTW form upon verification of isolation and readiness to begin work. Ensure that all required isolations are physically verified and confirmed in the system before starting any work. Collect the PTW copy issued to the workers at the job site after work completion for documentation and closure. Ensure all applicable PTW checklists for high-risk activities are reviewed, signed, and attached to the PTW. Supervise the execution of work, ensuring compliance with safety procedures and permit conditions. Withdraw all personnel, tools, and equipment from the site upon completion of the task. Ensure proper communication and coordination with the authorized person throughout the permit life cycle. Isolation technician, a trained individual responsible for performing physical isolation of equipment or systems, applying locks and tags as per the Loto procedure, and signing off on the PTW to confirm that isolation has been completed. Field operator, an operational staff member responsible for verifying site conditions, confirming completion of work, and ensuring that all personnel and equipment are removed from the work area before normalization. PTW officers, review and verify all PTW applications and associated checklists for high-risk activities. Sign and approve checklists to confirm safety compliance. Coordinate with the competent and authorized persons to ensure all safety measures are in place. Permit holder, the person or team in possession of the active permit to work at the job site. They are responsible for adhering to all safety instructions and conditions outlined in the permit during the execution of the work. PTW types. Normal PTW, a permit to work document issued for tasks that do not require the inclusion of additional safety documents or checklists beyond the standard PTW form. High-risk PTW, a permit to work document issued for tasks that require the inclusion of additional safety documents or checklists beyond the standard PTW form. PTW procedure. Notification raised by area supervisor. Service request. Review of notification. Generation of work order. All areas except the NMPI, housing, and explosive areas. Creation of PTW. Isolation and verification. Permit checklists. Permit to work issuance. Work execution. Extension. Renewal of PTW. Suspension of PTW. Closure of PTW. Closure of work order by competent person. 1. Notification raised by area supervisor. Service request. The area supervisor shall initiate a service request in the Maximo system for operational areas, for maintenance and inspections with proper description of the issue. 4. Activities within the MIP, housing, and the explosive store areas. The area supervisor shall submit service request notifications via email to the facility maintenance team, ensuring all relevant details are clearly communicated. 2. Review of notification. All notifications generated within the Maximo system shall be reviewed during the work order planning process to determine appropriate action. This includes deciding whether the notification should be converted into a work order, scheduling or rescheduling the task, or transferring it to another responsible party. The review also involves setting the target completion date and allocating the required resources. The facility maintenance supervisor shall review service requests submitted via email and plan for their timely execution. All efforts shall be made to address and close the requests as efficiently as possible, ensuring that resources are allocated appropriately and work is completed in accordance with safety and operational standards.
3. Generation of work order, all areas except the NMPI, housing, and explosive areas. Following the review of the notification, the engineering department shall initiate the creation of a work order in the system. Each work order shall include comprehensive details necessary for safe and efficient execution of the task, including identification of the equipment, operational area, or apparatus involved. Specification of the required permit to work, PTW, type, such as normal, hot work, confined space entry, work at height, lifting operations, excavation, or fire impairment. Selection of any permit checklists required to support safe work execution, based on the nature and complexity of the task. A clear description of the work to be performed. Assignment of the person responsible, competent person, to oversee the task. Define start date and work schedule to ensure proper planning and resource allocation. 4. Creation of PTW. The competent person shall prepare a proper risk assessment for the task. The authorized person, issuer, shall create the PTW document using PTW Form Ref No AMIMSQHSSWP 032F01. The validity of the permit to work extends only until the end of the shift during which it was initiated. If the work continues beyond the initial shift, the permit must be formally renewed in accordance with the extension/renewal procedure outlined in the relevant section. 5. Isolation and verification. All isolation and verification activities shall be carried out in strict accordance with the lockout/tagout Loto procedure, REF.NO AMIMSQHSSWP 033. Once isolation has been verified, both the authorized person and the competent person shall sign the verification section of the Permit to Work, PTW, form to confirm that all isolation steps have been completed safely. 6. Permit checklists. Permit checklists shall be filled up by the PTW officer for high-risk activities, working at height, confined space, hot work, excavation, lifting, fire impairment, and any. 7. Permit to Work issuance. Upon final approval, the permit to work shall be issued and signed by both the authorized person and the competent person to confirm readiness and compliance with safety requirements. The PTW shall be distributed in 2 copies as follows. Copy 1, maintenance copy issued to the workers at the job site and must be collected by the competent person upon completion of the work to ensure proper documentation and permit closure. Copy 2, operation copy, held by the authorized person. Any relevant checklists or supporting documents required for the safe execution of the task shall be attached to the PTW form prior to issuance. The issued permit to work shall be recorded in the PTW log register using form reference No. AMIMSQHSSWP032F02 to ensure proper documentation, traceability, and compliance with procedural requirements. 8. Work execution. Work execution by the competent person and their team shall commence only after confirming that all required safety measures are in place. This includes physically verifying that all isolations have been completed and properly recorded in the system. Upon completion of the work, the competent person shall ensure that all personnel, tools, and equipment are safely withdrawn from the site. The competent person shall then update the system to tag the work as completed, ensuring accurate documentation and readiness for permit closure. 9. Extension/renewal of PTW. If the competent person is unable to complete the work within the validity period stated in the PTW, an extension or renewal must be requested. The competent person shall submit the extension request to the authorized person using the designated section of the PTW form. The authorized person shall review the request and may approve the extension only after verifying that all isolations and safety precautions remain in place. A PTW may be extended a maximum of 2 times, with each extension valid only until the end of the shift during which it is granted. However, the maximum validity of a PTW shall not exceed 2 calendar days from the original date of issuance. 10. Suspension of PTW. If the PTW is suspended for some reason, i.e., trial run, temporary charging, etc., the suspension shall be recorded on the PTW. 11. Closure of PTW. Field operator shall physically check and verify the completion of work and removal of persons and material from the work site. All de-isolation activities shall be carried out in strict accordance with the lockout/tagout Loto procedure, REF.NO AMIMSQHSSWP033. Isolation technician shall de-isolate all the point of isolations and remove the locking devices and tags used for isolation and shall sign the normalization done by column in PTW form. Field operator shall verify the normalization of the system, list out the activities done for normalization and sign the normalization verified by column in PTW form. Authorized person shall sign the PTW form and give the first copy back to competent person. The duplicate copy of the PTW form shall be retained in control room records. PTW form shall be closed in the system by authorized person. The closure of permit to work shall be recorded in the PTW log register using form reference No. AMIMSQHSASWP032F02. 12. Closure of work order by competent person. On the completion of work, the competent person shall close the work order in the system. If you have any questions, please contact the HSE department at any time. Now, please submit the training evaluation and the examination. Thank you.